Here's a detailed look at the life and military career of Major General Andrii Viktorovych Hnatov, based on publicly available sources. Here is a focused summary of Andrii Hnatov's education and early career foundations. Education, Alma Mater, Kharkiv Institute of Tank Troops, graduated in 2001. Specialized in armored warfare and mechanized units. This institution is one of Ukraine's premier military academies for armored and mechanized command. Early military career. Initial service. Began his service as a tank platoon commander in the early 2000s. Served in the Armed Forces base in Kharkiv, gaining experience with armored tactics and command. Academic and training contributions. Military instructor roles. 2001-2014. Taught at the Kharkiv Military University and Kharkiv Air Force University, contributing to technical military education. Specialized in subjects like power supply systems, electrical systems, in military equipment. Civil academic career. From 2006 to 2014, held roles at Kharkiv National Automobile and Highway University, KHNHU. Progressed from lecturer to head of the Department of Automotive Electronics. Summary. Andrii Hnatov's foundation blended technical education, military leadership, and academic excellence. His early years built a rare mix of frontline command experience and deep technical knowledge, which later informed his decisions as a strategic military leader. Here's a detailed account of Major General Andrii Hnatov's service in Crimea and his rise through the ranks in the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Service in Crimea, pre-2014. In the early 2010s, Andrii Hnatov was stationed in Crimea as part of Ukraine's naval infantry, marine forces. At the time of Russia's annexation of Crimea in February-March 2014, Hnatov was serving with the Ukrainian Navy's 36th Separate Marine Brigade in Feodosia. Unlike some servicemen who defected to the Russian side, Hnatov remained loyal to Ukraine. He was one of the Ukrainian officers who refused to surrender and was later relocated, along with several hundred other loyal Marines, to mainland Ukraine, rebuilding the Marines, post-2014. After relocating from Crimea, Hnatov played a key role in the reconstitution of Ukraine's Marine Corps, which had suffered severe setbacks after the annexation. He continued service in the 36th Separate Marine Brigade, which was re-established in Mykolaiv. Rise through the ranks 2016-2018, appointed Chief of Staff and later commander of the 36th Separate Marine Brigade. Under his leadership, the brigade was restructured and actively engaged in the Joint Forces Operation, JFO, in eastern Ukraine, Donbass. 2018 onward, recognized as one of the top commanders in Ukraine's developing marine and ground forces, promoted for his leadership, modernization efforts, and combat effectiveness. Honors. During this period, 2015, awarded the Medal for Military Service to Ukraine. 2020, received the Order of Bogdan Khmelnytsky, 3rd class, for contributions to national defense and unit performance. Summary. Andrii Hnatov's integrity and leadership during the 2014 Crimea crisis earned him national recognition. Rather than surrendering or defecting, he chose to rebuild Ukraine's marine capability, rising steadily through the ranks. His combat leadership and organizational skills during this time laid the foundation for his future roles in major Ukrainian military operations. Would you like to continue with his role in the Russo-Ukrainian War, 2022-2024? Here is an in-depth overview of Major General Andrii Hnatov's role in the Russo-Ukrainian War, 2022-2024 full-scale invasion, 2022. At the outset of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022, Hnatov served as Deputy Commander of Operational Command South. He played a crucial leadership role in defending Mykolaiv, helped repel Russian forces advancing from Kherson, stabilizing the southern front, oversaw logistics and troop deployment during intense battles for Mykolaiv and Zaporizhzhia regions, preparing counter-offensive strategies that would later become vital in retaking occupied areas. Liberation of Kherson, 2022. Hnatov was one of the key military figures behind Ukraine's Kherson counter-offensive, contributed to the liberation of Kherson city in November 2022. Coordinated operations along the Dnipro River to push back entrenched Russian positions, Bakhmut defense, 2023. In spring 2023, Hnatov led the defense of Bakhmut as commander within the Khortytsia operational strategic grouping. Although Bakhmut eventually fell to Russian forces, Ukrainian troops managed to wear down Russian units, especially Wagner forces, through a prolonged and costly defense. Hnatov's leadership in this sector helped buy time and inflict significant attrition on Russian forces. Command of strategic groupings from October 2023 to February 2024. Commander of the Odessa Strategic Grouping of Forces, protected Ukraine's southwestern regions and infrastructure near the Black Sea. Later reassigned as Commander of Operational Command East, overseeing key sections of the front in Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts, promotions and recognition. His battlefield experience and strategic competence led to promotion to Major General in August 2024. Appointment as Commander of the Joint Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in June 2024. During this time, he was widely respected for his no-nonsense command style, discipline, and focus on force cohesion and battlefield efficiency. Summary from defending Mykolaiv and liberating Kherson to directing the bloody defense of Bakhmut, Andrii Hnatov has been at the center of Ukraine's high-stakes military operations. He is regarded as a combat-tested, pragmatic commander who helped Ukraine stabilize and counter Russian offensives during some of the war's most critical phases. Would you like to explore his time as commander of Ukraine's joint forces, or his current role as chief of the general staff? Here is a breakdown of Major General Andrii Hnatov's senior command roles from mid-2023 onward, as he transitioned from frontline commander to top-level military leadership, strategic group commands, late 2023, early 2024. October 2023, appointed commander of the Odessa Strategic Grouping of Forces, responsible for the security of Ukraine's southern front and Black Sea region. Late 2023, February 2024, reassigned to lead Operational Command East, which oversees Ukraine's most active and volatile front lines in Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts, managed logistics, reinforcements, and coordination across multiple brigades. Oversaw a particularly difficult winter campaign against sustained Russian offensives. Commander of the Joint Forces, June 2024, February 2025. 4. June 2024, appointed Commander of the Joint Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, succeeding Lieutenant General Yuri Sodol. In this position, Hnatov was tasked with overseeing coordination across all branches of Ukraine's armed forces in active theaters, implementing reforms to streamline command chains and improve unit cohesion, enhancing cooperation between different operational groupings and foreign military partners. His leadership during this period was seen as disciplined and results-focused, though the command was also under intense pressure due to ongoing attritional fighting. Transition to the General Staff 26th of February 2025. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy relieved Hnatov from the Joint Forces Command. 27th of February 2025. Immediately appointed Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. His responsibilities included strategic coordination across command's force generation and mobilization, reform streamlining decision-making across the General Staff structure. Here is a detailed overview of Major General Andrii Hnatov's role as Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a position he assumed in 2025. Appointment as Chief of the General Staff date appointed. 16th of March 2025, he appointed by President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Predecessor, Lieutenant General Anatoly Barhylevych, who had been appointed just a month earlier during a major shakeup of Ukraine's military leadership. Mandate and strategic focus. As Chief of the General Staff, Hnatov assumed the highest military planning and coordination role in Ukraine's armed forces during an extremely challenging phase of the Russo-Ukrainian War. His key responsibilities and strategic focus areas include operational efficiency, streamlining coordination between frontline commands and central command, addressing battlefield command and control bottlenecks that had plagued earlier stages of the war. Force restructuring, leading the transition from brigade-based to corps-based structures, a major NATO-aligned military reform, organizing new corps-level formations for offensive and defensive operations, mobilization and recruitment, overhauling mobilization systems, and addressing manpower shortages. Supporting legislative reforms to improve transparency and efficiency in conscription. 4. Integration of combat. Experience. Ensuring real-time battlefield lessons are reflected in training, doctrine, and strategic planning. Incorporating feedback from junior officers and NCOs to inform operational decisions. Logistics and supply chain improving. The movement of ammunition, drones, fuel, and winter equipment across fronts. Supporting efforts to create a more self-reliant and resilient Ukrainian defense industrial base. Leadership style and public perception. Hnatov is widely regarded as disciplined, pragmatic, and combat-tested, known for avoiding media attention and focusing instead on results and soldier welfare. Has earned respect within the armed forces for his field credibility and direct professional manner. Ongoing legacy. While still early in his tenure, Hnatov's leadership is seen as critical in stabilizing Ukraine's defense posture in 2025, amid a war of attrition.